Hey guys, it's me, 139 here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Ginny and Georgia Season 3 theories and predictions. So basically, at this point that I'm recording this video, I don't think that there has been any official announcement from Netflix that Ginny and Georgia will be picked up for Season 3, but I've heard from a lot of people in my comments section of my Season 2 reaction videos that the creator of the show is planning a third and fourth season, but because the show has not been confirmed by Netflix for a Season 3, it doesn't necessarily mean that that will happen, that those seasons will be produced, as we've seen with many other shows. Okay, and so for this video, I'm going to be giving you guys some of my own theories and some of your guys' theories, as well as like theories I've found on Reddit for Season 3. I think that this will be interesting. I'm excited, so let's get started now. So the first thing I think will be addressed in Season 3, or at least I hope so, is Joe's backstory. So we have seen a little bit of Joe's backstory, like how he was as a teenager in both Season 1 and Season 2, and they both kind of show opposite sides of Joe's personality. So in Season 1, we saw how kind and generous he was towards Georgia, who was a complete stranger to him at the time. He offered her half of his sandwich, they had a chat, he gave her hope for a better future, which she ended up following through. And in Season 2, we saw him get back at a bully for beating him up by framing him for cheating on a test. We as an audience assumed before we saw that flashback that he was a complete sweetheart and he didn't have one bad bone in his body, but obviously we saw that he also kind of did, and he kind of parallels Georgia in that sense. And so I hope that we get to explore more of his background in Season 3 because we didn't get really anything else besides the darker side of him in Season 2, but it was not really elaborated. And I would like to see how that eventually connects to everything going on in the present. And in addition to that, I personally think that his bruise, the bruise that he got in Season 2, has something more to do with what's going on, I guess. I think that he didn't just get that bruise from playing hockey. I think it will later, in Season 3 or Season 4 or whatever, in the future, we'll see it be related to something menacing, something darker than him just getting hit playing hockey. And I think they're saving up for that because, as I'm sure that we all are aware, this show has a lot of foreshadowing and it has a lot of revelations, just a lot of things that we didn't think would happen. I definitely think they're building up to something with Joe, and I think that will spill over in Season 3. We'll get some more Joe in Season 3 as well as his darker side, The second theory / prediction that I have is that I think that Cynthia will end up pardoning Georgia for killing Tom, because I think that in spite of the fact that she will find out that Georgia killed Tom, I don't think that she thinks she did it out of menace. I think she understood that Georgia felt compassion towards Cynthia in her very vulnerable state, and she wanted him to stop suffering. And so I think Cynthia will come to understand that about Georgia, and she'll forgive Georgia for what she did. But I think that if they bring up all the other crimes that Georgia has committed, I think in the beginning Cynthia will be a bit skeptical and a bit she can't trust Georgia, and she probably might think that she didn't do it out of the kindness of her heart or to show mercy, but she will eventually come to the point where she will accept and forgive Georgia for killing her husband. And along with pardoning Georgia, I think Cynthia will also try to help get Georgia out of jail, because I think she'll feel compassionate towards Georgia and her situation with the fact that she has 2 underage kids, so I think she'll try to help her get out of jail so that she can be with Ginny and Austin. So the next theory / prediction is something that actually one of you guys brought up to me in the comment section of one of my videos. I'll leave the comment somewhere on this screen, and it basically has to do with the fact that we don't really know how Austin learned to shoot a gun. It might just be they just wanted him to do it, and it's kind of out of convenience that he was so good at shooting a gun and he knew how to operate the gun. But it might be just that Georgia taught Austin how to shoot a gun, and maybe that might be explored more in the next season. And along with that, this seems to be a very popular theory, and it is that Austin will be heavily focused in Season 3 because he does have a lot of trauma. Seeing his mom go to jail, having shot his father, having witnessed Georgia killing someone, among other things. But I definitely agree that Austin will be heavily focused in the next season because he just has so much pent up anger and trauma, and he might lash out in other ways in the next season, and hopefully he ends up going to therapy. I think that that should be a big part of his development as a character. He needs to go to therapy because we've seen Ginny go to therapy and it's helped her a lot, but we've never really explored Austin's mental health at all, so I definitely feel like that will be a big factor in season 3, and I'm really hoping that that's the case. The fourth theory / prediction is that Gil will kill Paul. I actually saw this in a Reddit comment, and this is not my theory at all, but I did see someone who talked about how they think that Gil will ultimately kill Paul, and Paul will end up dying in season 3. Gil is a lot more dangerous than perhaps we think, and he's very underestimated by a lot of the characters, and so the fact that Paul went against Gil in the last episode of season 2 and threatened him to send him back to jail. Paul even restricts Gil from seeing Austin without his permission. We know that Gil is very obsessed. I would say it's obsessed, but he very much wants to see Austin at all times. He wants to have control of when he gets to see his son, and so the fact that Paul is in between that, he might just end up getting rid of Paul because of that. He's putting down that barrier between him and his son.
No lawyers. Gil wouldn't like that.
Well, I don't particularly care what Gil likes.
I don't think anyone has really done that to him before, and so I feel like he might just be well, I'm gonna kill Paul to get to my son. I kind of don't want that to happen because it would be really awful if Paul died, but I'm also well, then Georgia and Joe can happen, but I do think that Paul and Georgia won't necessarily last. I think that Joe is endgame. Let's move on to the next point, but we'll talk about another theory relating to that soon. So the fifth theory / prediction is that Zion's girlfriend will end up defending Georgia. And so this is also a very popular theory just because it was kind of given to us. It was kind of evident that that's going to happen because of how Zion's girlfriend told Ginny that she defends people without judging them and by trying to find the root of their crimes.
Well, we can all agree that stealing is wrong, right? What if the person's actually starving, though?
That makes sense.
And so Georgia is actually the quintessential case in that Georgia has killed people, but she has done so to protect her children, to protect herself, kind of with the exception of Tom, but she kind of did that to protect Cynthia. That might be debatable to a lot of people, but at least with the first 2 murders that she committed, she did so to protect herself as well as her kids. So Zion's girlfriend might be able to help her out there. The sixth theory / prediction is that Marcus and Ginny might get back together in season 3. I feel a little fickle about this because I feel like I wouldn't want them to get back together for Marcus to find happiness within that relationship. A big reason why Marcus and Ginny broke up was because he said that there shouldn't be one person that you can rely on for your entire happiness.
I love Ginny. She's the only thing that makes me happy. That's the problem. No one person should be responsible for your happiness. That's not fair.
Marcus shouldn't get back together with Ginny just so that he can feel happy or whatever, because that's just not going to work. You got to be capable of being happy within yourself before you can be in a committed relationship. And so I hope that that is how they get back together. I do think that they will eventually get back together, but I don't think that it will happen anytime soon, in the first couple of episodes of season 3. It might even happen in season 4. It will probably happen by the end of season 3 if we get one. The seventh theory / prediction is kind of more of a question because I honestly don't know this for myself. I don't really know what to think. The question is who will get custody of Ginny and Austin. Now, I think I saw this on Reddit as well. I can't remember where I saw it from. But basically, I think Ginny will most likely go with Zion and Austin will go either with Gil or Paul. Georgia has recently been married. I'm pretty sure Gil still has custody of Austin, so Austin will most likely go to Gil and Paul will have to fight for custody. I don't know how that really works. And so let me know in the comments below who you think will get custody of Ginny and Austin while Georgia is in jail. The eighth and final theory / prediction is about Joe and Georgia and how they will end up together. So I'll read a comment sent to me by Not Just Cakes. I think Austin will definitely need therapy, or they may start turning him into a bit of a psycho like his dad because of the pencil stabbing, gun shooting, Sting first comment, and Def think this will be what does drive a wedge or starts to drive a wedge between Georgia and Paul so she can finally be with Joe. I think I also saw this in a Reddit comment, I can't remember. Yeah, I think that Austin's behavior will definitely affect Georgia and Paul's relationship, but I also think ultimately Georgia and Joe are meant together, and the writers are trying to push us towards that ship. I think that will ultimately come to fruition at some point. So yeah, I don't think Paul is forever, regardless of what happens to him. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. And yeah, that's the end of this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of all these theories / predictions for season 3 of Ginny and Georgia, the potential season 3 of Ginny and Georgia, because we still don't know if it has been confirmed or not, if it will get picked up. Hopefully it will. I had a really fun time making this video. Subscribe to this channel if you guys want. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. You can support me on Patreon, channel memberships. I also have an Etsy shop where I make digital art prints. Thank you so much to Raster, I'm Danny Fanta, and Gaston Santien for becoming channel members. And thank you so much to Natalia Perez for becoming a patron. It really means a lot to me. And that's all. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Mwah.